rational discourse with them. And Muslims hate other religions and other societies, and they cannot live peacefully with other people. These are universal assumptions about Islam. And Americans, whether they say it openly or not, with the exception of very few educated people, by and large, this is what an average American believes about Islam. She may be very polite and not say it, that this is what I think about you, but this is exactly what their perception is. Now, if you come to the Muslim side, that how Muslims perceive Islam, here also we see that Muslims' idea of Islam and Muslims' understanding of Islam is also very limited and truncated, and most of the time it's heavily focused on issues of Sharia and law. Most people think that Islam is only a law, that there are rules, you do this and you don't do this. And if you do this, you are rewarded. If you don't do this, you are punished. So the idea of law and punishment is in fact very central in their thinking and in their understanding of Islam. But if we look at the broad tradition of Islam, what we realize that Sharia or law is an important element of Islam, but by no way it is the total story. There are many other aspects of Islam, other dimensions of Islam, and the issue of law really works in the broader aspect of Islam. Because law, by its very nature, deals with outside activity. Law is always focused on what is the nature of activity which a person is performing. Law does not deal with its intellectual dimensions, and it does not deal with its spiritual dimensions either. So why a person is doing something can be a very complex issue. One time, an American girl in my class, she wanted to study the issue of hijab, head covering. Now, when we teach, we give them different assignments where they investigate. Sometimes they visit a mosque. Sometimes they interview people. And this girl, American girl, she was very interested that why Muslim girls wear hijab. And here in this campus, where I was teaching this course, we had in fact a huge Muslim population, more than 300 students, many of them girls, and many of them wearing hijab. Now, but this girl, she asked me that she is not interested in religious and theological issues. She is simply interested in knowing that why these girls, in their own mind, if they are wearing hijab, how do they understand this activity and how they explain it. Okay? So she is more interested in sociological aspect. Okay? Why people do certain things, and if they do that, what motivates them in doing that. So she interviewed a set of girls who were wearing hijab on that campus, and she came up with 4 different answers. That why a Muslim girl is wearing hijab, from their perspective, from the perspective of girls who were wearing it, there were in fact 4 different answers. One answer which she got was, of course, religious answer, where the girl said that we wear hijab because this is one of the requirements of Islam. And we are following our religion, so as obedience of the command, we are doing it. Another answer which she got was that many girls said that it does not have any value, but this is our culture. It's like Spanish have their culture and Indians have their culture. The areas we come from, this is our culture. So when we wear hijab, we are actually maintaining our culture. But it is not really religious. It's not religiously important a demand. A third answer which she got was the answer of identity, where the girls were focused on issues of identity. And they wanted to define this identity vis-a-vis other people. This is being called reductive identity, meaning that you say, if they are doing this, I'm not going to do that. So since Americans don't do it, so I will do it because I want to assert my identity, my own identity, which is different than their identity. So this was one answer, identity. The fourth answer which she got was that some girls said that in our culture, Muslim, Arab or Asian culture, parents or families, they watch girls more than they watch boys. And when we wear hijab and scarf, they think that we are religious girls and they leave us alone. So hijab is in fact a very good way to keep our parents and our families off our back. And if we are wearing hijab, we are less monitored and less supervised. If we don't wear hijab, we will be more closely monitored and we will be more closely supervised. So in other way, hijab virtually frees us from this supervision of our families and our community members, and we think it is a small price to pay because it gives us actually more freedom to do whatever we want to do. So here they are using hijab simply as a cover-up, that it does not carry any religious value, any moral value, but simply as a technique in their mind. Now, if we look from religious point of view, from the point of view of law and Sharia, all these people are obeying the command. But if we look from the point of view of inward intentions, that what does really a person wants to achieve, then we see that the meaning of act is very different in each case. What does this act mean is not the same for all these people. For them, for some people, its value is religious and moral. For some people, its value is purely cultural. And for some people, it is just purely hypocritical. So here we see that Sharia and law tells us the limitation of that an activity can have very different meanings. And it depends on the person who is performing a certain activity. Now here I'll come to a hadith of Prophet ﷺ in which various aspects of Islam were clarified and they were taught. And this hadith became the basis of Islamic learning in traditional Islamic institutions. That if you go and learn what is Islam, this hadith will be in fact